looks like your great-grandfather's your great-grandmother right up the ass.
Ronnie, throw the thing.
La 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 la.
Schitt's Creek has officially arrived. The story of the once filthy rich Rose family, with attitudes to match, by the way, quickly created a cult following.
You better remember which nails you pulled those wigs from because your mother keeps a spreadsheet.
The Canadian-born and made sitcom has since exploded in popularity, picking up awards, sparking international buzz, and ranking right up there with the heavy hitters with nominations at the Emmys and the SAG Awards.
Way to go, son! All the way! Ah!
Co-created by comedy legend Eugene Levy and his son, Dan, Schitt's Creek is packed full of the weird, the wild,
I tried, John, but I can't.
and the outright absurd.
We also have wings.
But it also breaks ground, fearlessly representing queer relationships and issues free from hate or judgment. So, as the final season is about to begin, I met with Eugene Levy to talk about the power of comedy and saying goodbye to Schitt's Creek. Mr. Levy, very nice to meet you.
How are you?
Good, good.
Excellent. Are you having your coffee?
I will drink mine if you drink yours.
Yes,
Although
I will.
think yours is cold. Maybe we can, we'll get a warm cup for you.
It may be cold, but this is where acting comes in.
Pretend to drink. Oh, good.
Wow, that's hot. Yeah.
Season 6 airs soon. Shooting's all wrapped up.
Shooting is done.
So tell us all about it.
Well, I think the resolution to the series, I think, will be something that will be embraced by our fans. I think it ends.
That's not giving me much.
You're not getting anything, Andrew.
No,
I'm just,
some kind of plot hint, some kind of teaser that would.
No, I'm just saying that there are, there may be one or two surprises. But everything kind of ends the way I think it should end.
Can you tell me about the last day of shooting? What that was like for you?
Well, the last day of shooting, it was an interesting final week because every set that we wrapped on, like the last scene we did in the motel, for instance, was a very, very emotional kind of experience. There were a lot of tears when actors would finish their last scene together. There was just 10 minutes of hugging and, crying. The motel set was actually our home. It felt like home to us on the set. The last scene we did in there was a very emotional scene where Johnny actually says, I think we're going to miss this little place. And, that was, and then of course, tears started happening again, and then you got to dry and retake. It was very emotional.
There is an episode that I want to ask you about, and this was from the most recent season, I think, and it's the episode where your character accidentally outs David's boyfriend to his parents.
Mixing a business relationship and a romantic relationship, well, that can get kind of tricky sometimes.
In crafting that episode, you made some very deliberate choices about how that would unfold.
Right.
Tell me about crafting that episode.
I think Dan takes credit for that story and kind of crafting how it actually came out.
He is still the same person, and it's his birthday. And
David, we're not upset about Patrick being gay.
No. Oh my God. For a minute, I thought this was going to get very dark.
The thought that Patrick was feeling like he couldn't come and talk to us about this.
You've seen storylines about gay characters who are always hitting an obstacle of some kind, where you have a parent who is upset at the fact that their child is gay or can't deal with it. because what we've created with the town itself of Schitt's Creek, the idea the idea of making it an all-inclusive, devoid of homophobia. The idea is that Patrick's parents would not be upset.
Happy birthday, my sweet boy.
But you really wanted to avoid that tension, the kind of tension we've
yeah,
seen in
spearheaded by Dan. I mean, that was an important thing. The same way it was an important thing that he play a pansexual as a character, which even 6 years ago was, a very, very kind of gutsy thing to do.
I do drink red wine, but I also drink white wine. And I've been known to sample the occasional rosé. And a couple summers back, I tried a Merlot that used to be a Chardonnay, which got a bit complicated.
Okay, yeah, so you're just really open to all wines.
I like the wine and not the label. Does that make sense?
The legacy of Schitt's Creek, by the end of it all, is that it will have accomplished what?
I think the message that this show is sending out in a certainly not so subliminal a way is a very positive message about acceptance, inclusivity. I'm not a big social media person, but I do kind of look at the tweets coming in, and I do notice that a lot of them have to do with gay kids who say that it's because of this show they were able to come out, using this show to help them in their coming out to their parents and their families. One letter came in last week about a couple tragically who lost a child in the past year, and talked about the show as a way of them experiencing something that they never thought would happen again, which is to be able to laugh. And it's those messages and those letters that kind of reinforce the fact that I guess what the show is doing is much more than just being a hot, good half-hour comedy. It's actually sending. It's trying to actively change the way people see things. Create a more positive light on things that need to be lit a little more.
I saw a framed photo that you had given your son on the last day of shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, had you seen his reaction to that photo when Vogue asked him about it? It was in his house. He picked up the photo and he showed it. Have you seen that
No.
clip? Can we, so we have it here. I just wanted to show it to you at the same time.
Wow.
But it's just a very short little snippet. So here we go. I'll play that for you.
Photo of my family and a photo of me and my dad. My dad actually gave me this little framed photo on the last day of shooting our show.
What does it say on that?
It says, Daniel, it was an honor being your partner, son. Dad, XO. Oh, no. I don't want to cry for you, Vogue, but I just might.
You're so lucky to have a father like him.
He is a lovely, lovely, sweet, generous man.
You hadn't seen
Good. Yeah, lovely. Lovely. Well, that's 6 years of working with a very, very talented young man. It was just an amazing experience watching him grow as a writer, as a producer, as an actor, and director for the past couple of seasons, directing a few episodes. Yeah, just really makes, my heart swell.
We love you both very much.
Love you too.
Love you too.
What's next for Eugene Levy?
Hopefully a little more golf. I don't know whether I want to necessarily hop back into another series, but I'll kind of look at little things that kind of excite me creatively, and you know, and do that, and hopefully have more time in between projects to spend with my wife Deb, and maybe travel, and or do nothing. But it's nice to actually be able to get up in the morning and just think about, you know, where you want to go for lunch as the hottest thing on your agenda.
If you end up taking a break, you'll have earned it. Eugene Levy, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks
I
so
really
much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.